These are they're called market on close orders, and they just start putting them out there now. Like 512,000 shares on Philip Morris just now. Sick. $100,000 shares on UPST just now. That's a pretty big order. Wow. 514,000 shares on SCI at $85. Think about the money right there. Wow. That's a lot of money. That's no joke. Oh, we are live. All right. So if anybody is tuning in, we were going to let you into the room about an hour before this happened. So we just were in the midst of one of the best trades of the year, and I'm not even exaggerating. If anybody hasn't realized yet, the market never goes down, right? So, as a bear who's trapped in a bull market, I'm always looking for reasons to short the market. And what I've learned is it's just not a viable way to trade for any extended period of time. You could play fades. That's just shorting a stock at the beginning of the day for some profits, taking on an earnings report. We do that all the time. But you're looking at the Qs right now. Let me show you my chart. So you got my friend Solid and I were mapping the market. And let me show you my chart. Hold on a second. I think I lost it. Oh, yeah. I got to reshare. Oh, there it is. All right. It's pretty simple. The red lines, I'll show you what I was doing. So this is one thing I really love about VWAP. And by the way, thanks for joining us here. This is an aftermarket session brought to you by the most important earnings report in the history of mankind. So they say.
Live.
If anybody wants to guess what's going to happen, I'll say Nvidia goes up 8 points, sells off 13, rallies back 15, and then tomorrow by the end of the day, it'll be up 4 points. That's what I'm going to assume it's going to happen. So there'll be some volatility, I'm sure. And then you'll have the knee-jerk reaction to the earnings per share, and then everybody realizes that doesn't count anymore because it's all about forward guidance and what the new chip is going to do, new contracts, and of course, those words forward guidance is where it's all about. But more importantly here, what you're looking at right now is a QQQ chart. Just like yesterday, it's the same exact day. So yesterday was just as awesome as today. Maybe yesterday was actually even better because yesterday, if you see my chart, we had a sell-off pre-market back to Friday's lows, which was right around here. So we had our first real sell-off, I believe it was Friday. So this is a 5 days on an hourly chart, so you get to see everything. And I want to just get to this before the Nvidia comes out. So we had our first blow-off top. The Trump bump got sold into finally. Consolidating that massive move makes a lot of sense. But now that the market sold off, it does a great job at convincing people that it might try to go lower, gets people to sell, get shorts encouraged, and then they quickly realize their mistake. The market never goes down. So this is the hourly chart from Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and just now. So what I like to do is, I look at longer term charts to get a feel for where the stocks have bottomed out or where their targets are. And then I focus back on the minute-to-minute chart for the day. So this was yesterday, and it was coming after a nice big gain on Monday, and then the market decided it wanted to sell off. So right here is what we call a 1 minute multi-day VWAP break. It broke that day's VWAP and prior day, and it got crushed. And this was a beautiful trade to the downside. But as traders that don't live in the world of illusion, delusion, and confusion, we understand that the market never stays down. So in this case, VWAP was our confirmation of that ridiculous statement, because we all know the market does go down once in a while, but not lately. We're in a bull market, it doesn't seem to end. There's a massive underlying bid, and according to my hedge fund friends, there's still 20 or 30% in cash ready still to be put to use. So I don't see how the market's going to sell off. And again, obviously we got Nvidia coming out. Today's one-day move, even if it is down, probably won't be, detrimental to the overall market. But regardless, right? Yesterday, the market sold off. We laughed, we cried, we embraced it, and then it broke VWAP, and we went long. And from that moment on, it went from 496, and it rallied all day. It was probably one of the best, easiest trading days of the year. So we had Lunar also doing that same kind of thing. Here it is. When you sell off a stock right out of the gate, and then it breaks over the VWAP, 9 times out of 10, you're going to start a new rally. Look at this one. So it sold off at the beginning of the day, broke back over the VWAP, back over the prior day. And this was an $11 stock going up to $13.66. Massive amount of money made on the options. So fast forward to today. So let's live in the moment. So today you said, oh, the market's kind of scared of the Nvidia earnings. Sure they are. Nobody's scared. The only people scared are people who are short in a bull market. So all this chop, you first just sold off. We laughed, we cried, we knew it wasn't going to last, and it didn't. And you had a beautiful rally, but then you got some consolidation and chop throughout the day. But here comes the late day rally. So this is what we got. You got a double bottom here, and this little breakout, test of the breakout. So this is a fake out, shake out moment. It didn't break new lows, but it came back to support. And then the VWAP, and then this is where the magic is. It broke back over prior multi-day VWAP, which triggers more buying. And look at this parabolic move. So in this tiny little move of 3 points on a $500 index, if you didn't know, you could trade options on the Qs that expire each day. So at the end of the day, instead of laying out $500,000 on 1,000 shares, not many of us can do that anyway. Sure, you made your 2.5 points, 3 points, but with these zero-date options, you go ahead and buy yourself the 501. Here it is on the chart. And the reason I trade in the money options is that they trade lockstep with the stock. So instead of laying out 500K to do this trade, here, you're laying out, here's the VWAP turn, same as the chart on the Qs. You'd be buying these at $1.40. So for $1,400, they got up to $4. So you still made that a huge amount of money on a very minimum amount that you had to lay out. And that's why if anyone tells you that zero-date options are not good and they're dangerous, they don't know what they're doing. It's the greatest invention in the history of the stock market. Because now you get to trade stocks that you were unable to with size and make these 3-point moves on a $500 stock really, really count. And these trades show up all the time. So in this case, again, if you were scared because Nvidia was reporting earnings, why? Nobody's scared about Nvidia reporting earnings. Only the media is trying to make people scared. Oh, it's the most important earnings report ever. It's all right. It's just one day. If it goes up 3 points tomorrow, 5 points, or down 6 points, it's just one day. It'll probably consolidate if it sells off and inevitably go back up. It's not the end of the world if it sells off. And my God, imagine it sells off tomorrow and doesn't go back up within a couple of days. Ooh, it'll take maybe a week to start going back up. But what we're here today is I want to show you how to trade the earnings report itself. The knee-jerk reactions, the chop, and all that chop presents itself as an opportunity tomorrow. So I'm not going into the report holding Nvidia, but we watch the knee-jerk reactions to the earnings per share, to the forward guidance, to all the analyst upgrades and downgrades, and we take the price action into consideration. And then tomorrow, we address those prices that it hit and make our informed decision. No need to speculate, just react. No speculation, just reaction. And while I got you here, I hope you guys are in the Kenny Glick portfolio from hell. It's all of them are banging. Humana up 16 points today, my friends. Thank you very much. So since they said it wasn't getting taken over, it's up 30 points. And now it doesn't even matter if it gets taken over because it's above the takeover rumor price. If you're still in Humana with me, I still think it's going to 320, 330. But if you haven't sold any, be my guest. QUBT, we bought it as a joke because the name of the company was fun. Quantum Computing. Sat around for a couple of days, got pumped, got dumped. We bought the dump down around 250, 260, minimum risk. And next thing you know, we got a monster gain out of it, not selling it. Hopefully we see it over 4 tomorrow. While I got you here, still in the PayPal, still in Grab. If anybody's in this new no, sorry, not Grab. I typed this on wrong symbol. Grab. Another consolidation, another new high. Still in this stock. Looking for $6. This is coming out of the Andy Dufresne. We've been in this thing for a couple of weeks now. Actually, it's been a couple of about 6 weeks now. Very nice. The earnings are out of the way. We're looking for it to get back to where it broke down from 589. Breaks 589. I'm looking for it to get to $8. No need to sell this stock. We just broke out of a massive Andy Dufresne pattern. And if you don't know what Andy Dufresne pattern is, it basically looks like this. The stock stays below a multiple time frame. This is a 5-year VWAP, and it just could not get above it, could not get above it, could not get above it. And once it breaks, it runs for freedom. So clients just wallowing in the muck, comes out of the muck, and it runs to that island with my friend Andy. I didn't know it until today. My friend Andy. But right now, it's all about Nvidia, obviously. And here's a dud from today. Target. If you go woke, you go broke. And apparently, nobody likes this stock. It's very unique, as a matter of fact, for a stock to suck this bad all day in a bull market. And that's how bad Target was today. Rejected at the VWAP. Rejected and just rolled. Never really got anything going. Just an awful day for the Target shareholders. But again, we'll watch it tomorrow because these levels that were, that you weren't able to get over through today will come back into play tomorrow. That's what multiple time frame VWAP's all about. So while we're here waiting for the biggie, we got 3 minutes. Sometimes they wait till 4:30, but here's one that just came out. So here's snow. All right. Those red lines represent the last time I traded the stock. Obviously, I must have traded it down here a couple of days ago. So let's get rid of those red lines. But before I do, I want to consider something. These lines were up here from last quarter, last time I probably traded this stock. And look how some of these levels that were drawn. Let me see when this was drawn, as a matter of fact. April 25th to 2023. So basically last quarter. Look how they're coming back into play. The same prices that meant something back then mean something tonight, 3 months later. Not a coincidence because the market's rigged to price. And the same prices that come into play once, they'll come into play again in the future. And that's what makes technical analysis and VWAP trading so awesome because it cuts through all the bullshit of earnings and what people think, and it's just about price. But now, let's remove these drawings so we could start something new. We got 2 minutes before Nvidia. Usually I look at the high water mark, so I put a price line up there. That's basically the half. And where it's now kind of making this range is 145. So the range, we call it between 145 and 149. It's a 5-point range, which again, that's a volatile stock that just reported earnings. But the important part is, if it's in this upper range tomorrow and it breaks the 145, you're going to go searching down for this candle, which is 143. And you'll notice, by the way, these are half numbers and whole numbers because the market's rigged to price half numbers, whole numbers, and VWAP. So even it got a $149 stock that just reported earnings, the most volatile time for a stock, and they're still obeying the algorithmic prices, whole numbers, 143, 145, 149.50. So these levels, whoa, the dog just went nuts. So tomorrow when you walk in, if it's in this level and it breaks 149.50, it's going higher. And if it's at 147 and it breaks down under 145, it's probably going to 143, and then it could really get slammed, because once it gets into a bigger prior candle, all kind of hell could break loose. All right, let's go watch Nvidia. First move, I don't know if you want to take the first candle serious, but all right, there's the knee-jerk reaction, down 3. What did I say? Down 7, and then back up 12. So far I'm right. Now, if it rallies 12 points, you will now have to admit that I have some sort of mystical power. So there's the 7 points. And ask me why 7, because that's where it was right there. So now we just hit those lines. And again, these are the lines that I drew not too long ago. So now you expect it to bounce, because generally when stocks go retest prices from where they came, they generally find some love there. Here's your 3-point bounce already. All right. So very nice. I'm loving this action right now, because the last thing you want it to do, again, if you're short right now, congratulations. You're a lunatic. Take the money. I have no position on. So now I say to myself, as if Nvidia is going to stay down, right? You laugh because you know it's not going to stay down, right? No one's here having a delusion, right? Or some confusion about the market. So you know the stock's not going to stay down. So you're rooting for it now to go down as much as they want it to do. Get them out, get them all out of the way. Puke it out, crush it, let the shorts have their moment, because it won't last. So now these levels, let's get rid of last quarter's levels. So first thing I want to look at is the knee-jerk reaction candle, right? So then low the knee-jerk reaction candle, 137.93, basically double bottom. So it broke the low of the day by 1 cent right there. That's kind of peculiar. Peculiar! Anybody know Cuckoo's Nest? So 137.93, 137.92. So let's say imagine for a moment that that's it. You got the seller out of the way, and now it's consolidating. This candle right there is 140.64. Over 140.64, the stock goes higher. Oh, and there you go. So if you bought 140.64 already, you're already on your way to a payday. See? It's just candle breaks. And there you go. So again, I don't know if it's going to stay down, but if you just bought 140.64, you sell here at 142, sold to you, sold 142, 142.15, sold to you 142.31, and now you just made some money. Just buying a high candle break, knowing that the stock's not going to stay down, because the market never goes down, ever. Get it through your heads, people. You laugh, you point, and you mock these people that think the market's ever going down ever again. And now if this thing breaks 145, they're going to rue the day they ever thought Nvidia was going to stay down after they reported earnings. Now, I sell into this move. As it approaches back to the VWAP, you have to do something here, like take some more profit, especially if you bought it at 140.65, right? And now you're in it. Now you're above VWAP. All the shorts are going to be running for their lives now, my friends. And if you're in it, congrats. Because that's how you trade a bull market. You laugh in the face of the stock going down, knowing it's not going to go down and stay down, I meant to say. And now you've just made money. So now you stay long Nvidia unless it breaks this prior candle low and your entry, but you already made the money. So let's say you had 300 shares, you sold 100, you sold 100. Now you got that last 100. You're hoping this next candle turns and rips and goes green. But if it doesn't, you sell it. And that's how you stay a consistent, viable trader. Always sell on the way up, and then you adjust the lots that you have left. So again, 300 shares for me, sold, got 100 left. Next thing you know, if it breaks 141.86, sorry, 141.91, I'm out. But if so, now the if-then statement is if above 140.91, I'm staying long. And if it breaks the high of the candle where this whole party got started at 140, if it breaks 146.25, the stock's going to 150. So now you just sit and wait. Wait. The whole game is if-then statements. The only way you're going to make money trading the market nowadays, it's all algorithmic, it's all price, it's all VWAP, and you have to act as if you're a machine. So if-then, that's how you do it. If it breaks this price, I will sell the rest. If it doesn't break it, I will hold it. If it breaks the next price, I look for the next candle high. And you just have to act as if you're a computer. And that's what's so awesome about trading VWAP, because it is the most algorithmic price available to humans to focus your attention on. So VWAP and the candle highs and candle low prices and the range breaks. And that was as simple as it gets. Double bottom, break high prior candle, buy it, make money. And now you're just sitting here, right? Now you're about to get out of it if it breaks 141.90. And look at it. See how it held the 142 to the penny? And now you're selling. Sold. Ow, that was a bad sell. Might not be a bad sell. Maybe it was a bad sell. I don't mind. As soon as it broke 142, I hit the bid. Actually, it's not moving right. Yeah, it might have. That would have been. Yeah, maybe it was a bad sell. I will know in the next 10 minutes. But I'm out. But that's cool because it worked. As soon as the 142 guy left, I hit the bid. And now I was basically, I got wicked out. But that's okay. I tend to do that a lot. But that's how I stay in the biz. I don't mind taking profits. 8 out of 10 stocks go up after I sell it anyway, so it's nothing new. Oh, wait. If it breaks 142 here, maybe I am right about selling it. By the way, now you're going to get some chop. You're going to sit through the conference call. They're going to start talking about forward guidance and blah, 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 new chips and upgrades and downgrades, and all the geniuses that went to school for this are going to start making their commentary. I'm sure somebody will use the word EBITDA because it sounds cool when you use it. EBITDA. And you'll notice that none of that matters to real traders. Real traders just trade price. EBITDA doesn't matter. Earnings per share doesn't matter. What does matter if they say they're going to buy back the stock, that usually makes good things happen. And here's a little tidbit of information. You know, kids, when the company announces a buyback, they don't actually have to do the buyback. They just, if you read a lot of times the fine print, they just throw that out there. They throw it out there that they put it forth to the board that we'd like to buy back $8 billion worth of the stock. Sometimes they never even do it. Just a proposal. But it damn sure helps the stock when they throw those words out there. All right. Now I don't feel so bad selling at 141.90. We're back below that price, going lower. And hopefully we are at under 137.92 at some point tonight. So maybe we could do this whole trade again live tomorrow and make money again. So let's wait. We'll hang out for another half an hour. We'll see what goes on. And generally what I like to do, and again, this is what we do at the schmooze when earnings are coming out. I wait till 8 o'clock and I come back later to see how they really closed at 8 p.m., the whole aftermarket. I want to see the action. And then tomorrow morning, you come in and you see the pre-market action, how it matches up with today's aftermarket action. And you plot your charts, the significant levels. And you see how these significant levels already are coming into play. You know, the 141, the 142. Here you're flirting with the top of that candle. There's the 140.64. You've made your way back there. Struggles to hold that. Chances are you're going to go searching back down for the 138.71. And you know, the best part of this trade is now that you've sold out of it with me, you can't lose because we don't own it anymore, right? So no matter what happens now, the next trade is the next trade. We got the pop, sold it into the pop, got stopped out of the last lot, or not stopped out, but just sold it when it broke 142. And now you're in the driver's seat. I'd like to see it roll over and get slammed because just like I was saying before, it's not like it's going to stay down. So the more shenanigans they pull, the more selling that can get done. It's just going to rally, inevitably. No, I have everything market. Yeah. So no. I sell limit below the bid. So when I was hoping it wasn't going to break 142, I had limit 141.80 on my box. So I send limit a little bit lower than where the bid is just to make sure I get out, and that's why I got the worst print of that move, because I sent the limit below the bid. I always send limit. Everything I do is limit. I never send market orders, ever. Especially on options, my friends. I know we're not trading options right now, but seriously, get used to just sending limit only. Every once in a while, it'll backfire because you won't get printed on something, like the rest of my lunar options that morning, trying to sell them at 225 limit. If I would have sent the market order, I probably would have got done at 170, but I didn't want to sell market because they rip you off. You know, 10 contracts, you lose 60 cents at $600 just by sending a market order. So I'm always trying to limit in, limit out, always limit orders. See, my default is limit on my market maker boxes. Every platform I'm on, I'm set to limit is my default. And by the way, speaking of fast trading, you see when I trade, when I hit inside the box, it goes right to my order entry. It's just point and click. It's pretty damn simple. If you want to step up your platform, I'm going to have my Trade Zero friends come on to the schmooze. Maybe even, I don't know if I could get them to come tomorrow, but probably next week. And we'll go through all the bells and whistles of their software programs, platform. Hey, by the way, hello. So again, what you just witnessed on the Nvidia was they just dragged it down. They had another seller to get out of the way. They drag it down. And when you start, again, this is how to feel the market. If it takes 11 or 12 minutes to do something one direction, and in a minute later, it's completely engulfed, that's bullish. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes of going down. If in 2 minutes you're going to make back this whole move, the stock's not going down. I mean, that's typically what we're witnessing almost every day in the market. If you get a 12-minute sell-off, you basically rally for 2 hours. And then when you actually sell off an entire day, you rally for like 7 days. So it's like the ratio of bullishness is just overwhelming, obviously, because we never go down. But this is just, again, these last 3 days are a shorter's nightmare because we got so close to what looked like was actually going to take root, a real sell-off, and we were going to get some nervousness. And each time it was just bought and you just got ripped apart. You just didn't lose money. You got ripped apart on the Qs the last 2 days. I mean, yesterday was the most insane, but today was equally as insane. You got really, really nice sell-off and you still wind up getting ripped apart. Like you will continue to get ripped apart if you get in the way of this market. And, again, look, this is just typical bull market action. Get everybody out, squeeze them, convince them that it's going to go down again, trap them, and then rally. It's the same day over and over again. Doesn't matter who the president is, who's in Congress, or how you feel. This is the market. And until something changes, just maybe you're like me, you're thinking, oh, there's going to be a rug pull, oh, there's going to be blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. Whatever your dumb thesis is that the market's not going to keep going up, let the VWAP validate it. Because on Friday, it certainly told us, hey, something's different today. Volatility products were going up, and the market, each time it rallied, it couldn't break back over the ranges that we formed. And there was something different about Friday. But that was the one-off. You have one day like a Friday, and that also convinces people, oh, what was that all about? And then 3 days later, you realize, nah, nothing. There was nothing. They just had some selling to do that day. Just like August 5th, we'll never know. Remember the crash of August 5th that almost took my life? What the hell was that? They just made some shit up. The yen carry trade. What was it? Nothing. What happened? Are we carrying yen anymore or no? No, it didn't. The world was blowing up in those 3 days and all culminated on August 5th. And if you look at some of the charts now, you'll see that all that bullshit, it was just a constructed, manipulated move. And you see it all in you see all the prices that it hit, even the 420 on the Qs and the NQ futures. It's all one big manipulated shit show. But man, you cannot stay short. So it's a great time to be a trader. Again, for me, it's hard to accept that we're never going down ever again, but it certainly feels that way. I know it's sort of tongue in cheek, but right now there's an underlying bid like I've never seen, and I've been doing this for 30 years. 30 years. I've never seen a market, even 1999, where everybody goes back to, because it was so easy to trade. Yeah, it was easy to trade because stocks, they would dip in the morning and then go up for 7 straight hours. It was easier to trade, but there was no bid. You felt that it could give way any second. It was strange. There's just a massive bid on the market right now, and that's why every pullback is just a consistent buy. So now what we're seeing right now is just, we're inside this consolidation. And tomorrow, let's say we stay in this consolidation and by some chance VWAP is above the consolidation and you break the consolidation and you break VWAP on Nvidia, please buy it. Please. Because it's going to rip. So once they get all the sellers out of the way and everybody that was nervous or is nervous or think it's still a bubble. It's not a bubble. People want in. That's it. It's the end of the story. It's not a bubble. People want in. For all we know is the bull market just started again on August 5th. So the bull market is only 3 or 4 months old. Think of it this way. I have a nephew coming over tomorrow who wants to get into trading and into the market. There's a lot of people who have nephews just like me that want in. He doesn't care about the valuation. He knows, hey, this Nvidia stock, I hear a lot about it. Yes. He doesn't care what it's worth or how much it's run. He wants in, right? Some people say, oh, it's a sign of a top. No, it's not a sign of a top. The sign of a top is when the stock actually tops out, breaks down, and goes down under prior lows of recent weeks. Let me know when that happens, and we'll talk about it. But right now, there is no top, there is no spoon. We live in the matrix, and you just trade price, and you live happily ever after. So yeah, I'm rooting for the stock to go nowhere now. I know if you guys bought options into it, sorry, I'm rooting against you, but it's not like it's going to sit around all day tomorrow. But if it sits around, the consolidation is the fuel for the next move up. And if it breaks down, you go under 137. Now you start looking, you listen. Did too much drinking last night. My voice isn't back. You had recent lows of 137. So if we do break down under the 139, under this price today, you'll probably go looking for those prices. And then you just go look at a monthly chart. All right, we break here. Where are we going to go? 135. Here we were as recent as Halloween. We were at 132. So it can consolidate and maybe even test down at 132 for all we know. But we'll know more tomorrow. If the consolidation leads to a breakdown, it usually searches for the bottoms of these candles. And inevitably, they'll find a candle where there's no more sellers left. It'll make its turn, trap the shorts, and everything will start ripping back up. That's my story. I'm going to stick to it. Well, I got you here. I think we're going to go live with the schmooze again. I think we'll just do it in the room because, I don't know, for some reason when we cross the streams, it craps out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Thursday nights we get together, talk a little bit more about options because we prepare for our Friday options expiration. Used to be just weeklies. Now we have daily options expiration, so it's kind of different. But a little preparation, knowing what you're planning on doing. You know, you plan your attack and then you let VWAP validate what your plan was. And if it doesn't get validated, you don't put the trade on. And sometimes, which I like, is that you come in, you know, in the morning planning to do something, and then the market says, no, you're wrong. And then being able to adjust your way of thinking and doing what the market's telling you to do, that's usually the best trade. And it feels good to be wrong because then you know that you're doing something right. Like, man, I really didn't think this was going to happen, but I guess I'm buying it because the VWAP's breaking and the price is telling me to do it. You know, like for instance, I'm coming in tomorrow, assuming Nvidia is going to get bought on the dip, assuming the Qs are going to get bought on the dip, and assuming we're going to be going higher tomorrow. But if Nvidia is breaking down under 138 and the Qs are rolling through, you know, today's prior day VWAP, then I'll admit I'm wrong and join the winning side. And that's how, you know, I've managed to stay in the business. And it's taken me a while just to be, you know, frank with you. I've fought the market plenty and I've lost shorting. So, you know, now that I have VWAP and I just submit to price, I tend not to make those mistakes anymore. And one day, I'm telling you, my friends, the market's going to go down for 3 days in a row. I know. Crazy. 3 days in a row. It's going to be like an extravaganza. But right now, you could already see it. The sellers are done. The thing's consolidating at higher levels again. You know, I'm not putting the news on. I'm not going to listen to what they have to say. I don't really care. You know, usually the meeting goes on for about an hour. They will have some more to say. So you'll have some more knee-jerk reaction candles, I'm sure, before 8 p.m. And then tomorrow, they start rolling in with all the upgrades and downgrades and, you know, all that stuff. And then, you know, within 15 minutes of the open tomorrow, we'll get a pretty good feel of what this thing wants to do. I think you got a feel for what it's going to do already. It's not going down. And again, let it come down. Let them try to pull this thing down. I'd love to see it at 138 tomorrow. I doubt we're going to see it at 138. I think that might be it for the day. But again, little hope. And again, why am I hoping for it to go down? So I can buy it. I don't like chasing. But If you bought that first move and you got paid, you had the same exact opportunity right there. And that's why you keep these lines up. The prices of significance usually continue to play out. And while we got you here, I'm sure there's somebody else that reported earnings too that might be important. Let me go see while I got you here. Let's go back to check on snow. All right. So again, I'm not a fan of buying stocks that are gapped up. That's called the gap and go. It's rare because the gap, when you walk in, let's say you bought snow yesterday at 125 and you're walking in tomorrow at 154. What are you going to do? You're going to take some profits, right? So I'm usually playing what's called the fade. So gapped up on good news, everybody's excited. I'm looking to short because you generally are going to get some profit taking on a stock that was 128 or 125, and that's trading 25 points higher. But you see what this chart just told you? Remember I was showing you the lines? I said, if it goes above the 149, it's probably going to go higher because stocks that break pre-market highs tend to go higher. So this is one of those trades where I probably wouldn't even do it because I just don't like buying stocks that are gapped up, that are breaking higher, but you don't fight. You don't go short a stock that's breaking pre-market highs. So now that it made a new high, you factor that in, right? It was really significant breaking the 149.50. By the way, Nvidia is at 143.50 already. So now this new range forms, and where it kind of like broke out, the high watermark right there, would you know it? 151, whole number. So you start forming the new ranges of the prices that are really significant. Usually they're half numbers and whole numbers. And then you draw yourself a line there. Here it hit it, broke it, hit it, rallied. So tomorrow, now the if-then statement, if snow breaks 151, then it will probably retrace to 145. And that's your trade. And again, if it now consolidates here and breaks 153.94, it's going to go to 155. And you start looking at some bigger charts now. I don't even know where the stock's been. Oh, okay. The 5-year VWAP is 190. I don't think it's going to 190, but recent highs, 168.80. All right. Yeah, you see where it kind of held support right there? These prices, that's 155.42. That's where it's probably going to. But back to Nvidia, and the idea that this stock could actually go down is just a bad idea. And later tonight, if you're still sitting here and you see it breaking over 144.77, chances are it's going to back to that 146 and a quarter. If it breaks 146 and a quarter, it's going to 147.50. And next thing you know, by 8 p.m., this thing could be right back at 150. Just knowing your prices, knowing what you're going to do, prepare your attack, and just draw some lines of significant areas. And again, if you didn't join us for a Saturday class, I'll teach you. And I do this every day. It's the same day over and over again. The class is all about where to draw your lines. And if you do join my merry band of misfits, you get my screen, you get my script, you get the magic of the multi-day VWAP, and then you meet my coder and my best buddy in the world of trading, Solid Jello, who's taken this coding and has brought it to a whole nother level. I pride myself in just being an intro to VWAP. He's taken it. He's got a master PhD, and I don't know if there's anything above a PhD, but if there was, he's the master, and he's taken it to a whole nother realm by using different time frames. I use today's VWAP, which is kind of the 1 minute, and prior day VWAP, which is more or less yesterday's and today's combined. And he's done it on an hourly basis, a half-hour basis, even where it's projected where to go if you have a blue sky breakout. So a lot of fascinating ways of trading the VWAP, and we do it all. But one thing that's consistent, it's all VWAP all the time. Only price, only VWAP, and it's so specific and so niche. And once you get it, you got it. And you'll see the market for what it is. It's just manipulated to price. And the most significant prices are VWAP prices. Namaste, my friends. I got to go. I'm starving. I'm going to go get some tacos. Make sure you get right with us. If you haven't joined, it's a free trial. Join for a month. You get 2 weeks for nothing. If you really dislike what we're doing, which is kind of hard to believe if you do, you get your money back. We pride ourselves in just making these trades work, explaining why we're getting in. So inevitably you won't have to wait for us to tell you to do it. That's where we want you to be. And we just do this every day. We're here from more or less 8 to 5 every day, going over these charts, finding the best ideas, giving you the risk reward, explaining why these trades work and why they don't work. And again, that's a really important thing. When a trade doesn't work, understanding you have to get out, and, understanding what you're witnessing right here is the shorts are about to get crushed. This thing goes up another $1, they're not going to be able to withstand the pain. And, again, if you bought the if you did the rebuy at the same price where I dipped my toe in, because I just like the first I like to be the first guy in, reactionary reaction to that break, you usually get something, and we got something. And then that was, imagine the people that bought it here, that was them being bled to death if they didn't sell into the move. Next thing you know, it turned, you buy it right back, and you almost made the same trade. Pretty sweet. All right, I'll see you guys in the morning, tomorrow, and for the rest of your life until I spontaneously combust, which would be good content for the internet. Imagine my head just exploded. Holy shit, the guy's head just exploded. He was talking about this Nvidia trade. I think that was CG, but maybe it wasn't. Oh my God, this dude's head just exploded on YouTube, which would be a pretty awesome way to go out, to be honest.